Full-time job, wife, kids, podcast, YouTube, life. I'm busy. And that's not going to change anytime soon. But I've got races on the calendar and I've got my health to think about. So here's my reality and how I'm dealing with it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gabe. By day, I lead a live production team at my church, and by night, or more realistically, by the early mornings, I'm training for a Spartan Trifecta. As I've been on this journey to my first Spartan Trifecta this year, one of the questions that I get asked by people at work or friends that I'm talking with is, how in the world do you train for that? And sometimes it's about like, what do you actually train? But more often than not, it's how do you have time to do that? So here's what my life looks like right now. I work full-time as part of a live production team at my church, leading people on the team, executing weekend services, and keeping our gear and systems running smoothly. On the family side, I've got a beautiful wife, Sarah, that I've been married to for 11 years now, and we've got two awesome boys, 7 and 5 years old, who we also homeschool. Between school, sports, music lessons, swim lessons, and all the other kid stuff, they keep us pretty busy. On top of all that, I host a podcast and I also create on this YouTube channel. How the heck am I supposed to train for a Spartan Trifecta and still sleep? I don't have a perfect answer, but I'll show you how I'm managing it. I've broken this down into 3 major principles that you can use when building your training season. The first one is that there really is no perfect plan. There's only a plan that works for that season of life. For me, my work schedule changes season to season. It gets busier in some parts of the year and less busy other parts of the year. For example, at the beginning of the year, my team was supporting a ton of events and also working on other projects. So I did not have as much mental bandwidth or physical time to train. So I could only commit to training 3 days a week. So as I was preparing for my Spartan Super in February, I only trained 3 days a week. After that, my work schedule slowed down a bit, so I was able to ramp up into what was more of a running focused block and getting ready for the Spartan Beast that I just completed a little over a month ago. I was running probably 4 to 5 days a week with a little bit of strength training mixed in there. All that to say, when you're trying to figure out how you're gonna train for something, how you're gonna work out, how you're gonna be healthy, look at the season of life that you're in and figure out what works for that season. And know that it's not the answer forever. This is the answer for this season, for this training block, for this quarter, whatever it may be. And be ready to reevaluate when you enter a new season. Principle number 2. Don't try and build your plan in isolation. Talk to your spouse, your family, your friends, whoever you do life with, maybe it's a roommate, and ask them what you need to take into consideration when planning this season. If you're single, you may not have anybody that you need to take into consideration. In that case, just get after it. But for me, I have a wife and 2 kids, and they are a top priority in my life. If I'm training super hard and getting strong and fit and just absolutely crushing it, but I'm neglecting the time with them, then what's the point? So this season, through the summer, I was evaluating everything. I looked at the season with work and with other things that I'm aware of, and then I identified that I could probably train 4 days a week. And that was my goal, 4 days a week. I took that to my wife, Sarah, and I said, hey, I am going to train 4 days a week through the summer right now. And these are the 3 days of the week that I think would work well. I'm not sure on this 4th day if it should be Friday or if it should be Saturday. When you look at our week, which way works better for you and the boys? Would you prefer me to train Fridays or Saturdays? Because I know that Fridays are often our family days together. That's the day that I'm off work. And so I may have more time that day, but it's one of those days where we often plan things with the family. So she told me, hey, thanks for asking. Yeah, I think actually Saturday would be better for now. If you occasionally have to do one on a Friday, that's awesome. But Saturday would be better than Friday. So that's how we locked in the training days for this season. She felt valued, she felt seen, and she had the buy-in because she knew that I had already taken into consideration the household, before making these plans and committing to this training block. Your training will go so much better if your team is behind you the whole way. Okay, so now you've taken into consideration your season and you've taken into consideration those that live with you and any relational aspects of that. Now you need to build the plan so that you don't just show up at the gym or walk out to the backyard or the garage or wherever you exercise and you don't know what to do. You need to have a plan going in so you use the time wisely, so that you progress well, and that you will actually accomplish the goals that you set out to accomplish. So take your goals, figure out what you're setting out to accomplish, and then start building your plan on top of those goals. You look at the end result, and then you reverse engineer the process to figure out what will get you there. Now, that sounds like a lot of work, and maybe you should be a personal trainer to do that. And yeah, that's kind of true. It's kind of complicated. So here's a couple ways to help you get going on building a plan and finding a plan for you. You can go online, you can Google Spartan race training plan, put in your distance or whatever, and it's going to give you something. What I found is that a lot of the online workout plans that you can find are often just very cookie cutter. They don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about your goals. They don't know anything about your current level of fitness, your current health, any injuries like me with my recovering IT band syndrome in my right knee. It doesn't know about any preferences. Usually it's locked into certain days of the week and a certain amount of time, but there's not often a ton of flexibility in there. They can be a good starting place, but they don't always fit really well. If you want to get started today, I put together a starter plan that'll get you moving this week. I adapted this from a plan that a personal trainer actually made for me when I was starting to get back into fitness, back into lifting, and I pared it down to make it really accessible for everybody, given variations for in the gym or at home, depending on where you're working out. It's accessible, it's easy, and it's clear, and it'll help you get started this week. The link is in the description. Go grab it and start today. If you don't want to use a cookie cutter pre-made plan, or you want to progress past that, there's a couple other options. The best way to do that, to get premium training, premium strategy, would be to hire a personal trainer. They can develop a plan for you, they can see you, they can train with you, they can evaluate your form, make sure you're lifting safely, and you can really progress in a really, really fast and effective way when working with a trainer. It's going to cost you. It's a bit expensive. This is definitely the premium option. And if you've got the funds for it, get after it and do that. For me, I'm not ready to commit to paying for a personal trainer right now. I've worked with trainers in the past, and it's just not that season for me right now. So there's a third option that I've been using, and it's worked really, really well. AI. I use tools like ChatGPT and Claude to build my training plans. I give it my numbers, my body numbers, my goals, the days and time in each day that I actually have to train, and it builds me a plan around my schedule instead of trying to squeeze my life into a generic schedule. This is not a replacement for a real coach, but it's a lot more personalized than one that you would just find online. And it didn't require me to read a stack of sports science books to get going. One thing I always do is I always check it against what I know is sound training. And if something ever sounds off or doesn't just feel or seem quite right, I ask somebody who's further down the road. Either I reach out to one of my friends that I know are personal trainers and sports science experts, or just somebody that I know has been running for many more years than I have been, or lifting for many more years than I have. And so I can kind of verify it that way. This is what helped me build that 3-day-a-week Spartan Super training plan, and a blend of this and a Nike Run Club plan got me ready for the Spartan Beast. So here we are, summer season, post-Beast, knee problems during the Beast. I went to Claude. Claude's the one I use the most often, and I said, here's all the stuff. Here's where I'm going in November for that race, maybe a few trail races in between if they work out with my knee. I need a plan that's 4 days a week, because that's what I discussed with my wife. That's what works for this season. I need 4 days a week, 90 minutes a day. Let's map this out to make a logical progression between now and November. It gave me a 3-phase plan that started with like rehab and foundation building, mostly like protecting the knee, building a lot of strength and mobility in my knee and hip, to rehab that and build some fundamental strength in this like right side chain that I've been struggling with. I'm just now coming to the end of that. It's been great and super effective, really clear what I need to do every day in the gym. And then next week we'll start phase 2, which is building. We're gonna start building strength, gonna start building back up more running fitness, longer distances, probably more speed work, working on my VO2 max, the cardiovascular engine, if you will, ultimately building back strength and endurance. And then as we get closer to November, with the Spartan Sprint coming up to finish out this trifecta, we're going to go into a sharpening phase where I'm going to get really specific with obstacle training and trying to get really dialed and ready to execute those obstacles in November. This AI plan building has worked really well for me, and I'd encourage you to try it. One piece of advice is you use AI. Don't take anything with the first iteration. Push back on it, have it iterate. It usually is not great. It's usually a bit bland the first time that it gives you a result. Tell it, well, actually, this is what my knee is doing. This is what my back is like. This is, actually, you're telling me I need to run every day, but then like lift 4 days a week. That's not gonna work for me. I only am training on those 4 days and only for 90 minutes. And that needs to include the 10-minute drive to the gym, right? Get specific with it, push back on it, give it time and give it prompts to keep refining it until it gets to be a great plan for you. At the end of the day, if you're struggling to be consistent with your health and fitness, it's probably not a lack of discipline or motivation. It's probably not even a lack of time. You don't need more time. You need a better system, one that gets you from your comfort zone to more capable than you can imagine. And like I said before, if you want to start today while you're refining that plan with a trainer or with AI, link in the description will take you to a starter plan that will give you a full week and instructions to progress beyond that until you get the right plan for you. Thanks for your time. I hope you have a great week and keep getting just a little more capable every day.